All right, good morning, folks. We got Drew Allar here for you all today. As always, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and we will get to questions from the room. Go ahead, Tyler Donahue, start us off.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Drew. How are you this morning?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. You've been with Katron and Nick now for just about 3 years. You've seen them on a daily basis. In a college football world where everyone kind of wants a bigger piece of the pie for themselves, why do you think these two have been able to share the workload so effectively through these three seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was part of the recruiting pitch that Coach Sider gave them when they were recruits with me as well. You look at the trend across just running backs in general. They want running backs with less wear and tear on them, and obviously we have two backs that are elite at what they do. They also don't have much wear and tear on them. Obviously, they want to put up numbers, and they have put up numbers with what they've been given. But I think it's best for them and their future and us as a team right now to have two backs that we can rely on at all times. So I think it's kind of a win-win in both situations for like our football team as a whole and them for their personal careers.
Daniel Gallen.
Good morning, Drew. Appreciate the time. James on Monday talked about wanting this team to be able to take steps forward without having to suffer a setback. As a team captain, what does that mean to you, and how do you go about that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just staying on top of the little things. Offensively, it's going to be just continuing to evolve our process, and not let any mistakes that we've made in the past couple of games like carry over into the next week's games or practices. Like we always have to be, correcting mistakes and not allowing mistakes to be a part of our culture on the offensive side of the ball. Like we need to be aggressive in attacking those areas that we need to improve on. And like quote unquote weaknesses of our offense. Like we always need to be evolving as an offense. We can't be the same offense each week, week in and week out. So I think we're doing a good job of that right now. But yeah, I think it's just going to be attacking the things that can get boring after a while. And it may seem small, but they add up into a lot of big things into future games.
Rich Scarcella.
Morning, Drew. Thanks for your time. Drew, speaking of growth and taking a step forward, how far does the offense have to go to reach its optimal level? How much better can you guys get?
I mean, I think it's hard to put like how much better we can get. We know we can get better. I think right now we're doing a really good job of just being super balanced. Like I think we're averaging around 250 on the air or in the air and on the ground through the first couple of games of the season. So we want to keep building on that. But I mean, we know we can get a lot better. I think that's the exciting part because we've had a lot of success so far, but there's a lot of opportunities that we've let slip away either through just schematically, like just being coached better. And Coach K takes that to heart, always wanted us to be one of the most prepared teams in college football, and then us players going out and executing the things that he calls. So I think, we're working really well together as players and staff right now to just get better overall. And I think we're doing a good job of just, getting better each day.
Tom Canavan. Tom, I think you're there. We go.
All right.
Tom, you're back muted again. Sorry.
Here we go. Are we there?
Yeah.
Thank you. If you look at the vast majority of quarterbacks in the Big Ten, the common factor is they've all transferred. You're one of the exceptions. What made Penn State so attractive to you, and why? Why?
I mean, I think as a recruit, it was stability. And I looked at Coach Franklin and his resume. Like he had been at Penn State for nine years, I think, when I was a recruit or something like that. Maybe little bit less. But he had been there established here for a while, and he had just signed an extension the summer before my senior year in high school. So I knew Coach Franklin was going to be there for a while, at least my whole career, because he signed that 10-year extension. So that was very important to me, just having stability within the program. And I felt like it was a really good opportunity for me to come in and learn under veteran guys like Sean Clifford and things like that. And then the support staff as well, like Danny O'Brien has always been here. He's been a huge help to me on the field, off the field, and just everything in general. So I think for me, I always wanted to find as a recruit like somewhere where I can go and develop and not have to leave, and go to a place with stability, both in the head coaching's position, because obviously coordinators can change for a lot of your career as a player in a lot of different ways. But I knew Coach Franklin was going to be here, and that was a big part of why I stayed committed through my recruiting process and continued to be committed to this program every day.
Frank Bodani.
Hi, Drew. Katron and Nick, can you just describe their physicality as runners? And has that actually, have they actually done that differently, better, that type of thing this year?
I think they've always both been physical runners, and I think it always has stood out with Katron specifically. But Nick is a super physical guy, obviously super physically gifted with his athleticism and strength. Same with Katron, but I think it just gives a huge boost of energy for our offense in general and our whole sidelines. Like you saw the play where Nick decleated the guy on a chip and then caught the ball in the flat and ran the guy over at the first down marker right on our sideline. You could see how excited he was. And then their energy, it fed to our whole sideline. And then you got Katron, who doesn't go down with one guy tackling him. Like, he's going to punish whoever's going to come up and try to make a tackle on him. He had like 3 or 4 guys that he ran over on the opposing sideline this past weekend. And I think, even though it may not be much, it just sets the tone for our offense and how physical we want to be. And I think when those two are physical, it really feeds into our O-line too, because I think we saw a new level of tenacity and just physicalness up front this past weekend. And I think it kind of starts with Nick and Katron and just their attitude of things. Like, obviously they want to break the home run runs consistently, but they take a lot of pride in falling forward all the time and just, punishing whoever's going to come up and try to make a tackle on them.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Drew, thanks for the time. Kind of open-ended on this one, but obviously you've gotten to know Andy pretty well the last few months. What has been the best or most exciting thing about working with Andy and getting to be his quarterback?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. I think one of the things that sticks out to me is his consistency. I think he's the same guy every day in the way he prepares not only himself and the offensive staff, but the players. Like, our process is pretty similar each week. As players, that's really nice because you can get into a routine and a swing of things, and then it just keeps evolving throughout the season. So I think consistency sticks out, and then I think he's just super energetic. Like, when we have good plays on offense, like, he's one of the most excited on the sideline throughout practice. And then when things aren't going well, he's getting on guys in a positive way though. So it's like very reinforcing to players. Like, we want to go out and play well for Coach K because of how much he's meant to us since he's been here. But I think just in general, he's super fun to be with. And the whole offensive staff is like that. But as far as playing for him, like, it's just fun because I kind of know going into each drive what to expect. I think he does a really good job of communicating with me and the rest of the offense of what he wants to get called and why. And I feel like I've been the most prepared quarterback in the country. I think the rest of the quarterbacks would say the same in our room going into these first 4 games, just because of the preparation and effort he puts into getting us prepared and on the same page, and really understanding the why behind everything.
Johnny McGonigal.
How you doing, Drew?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Tyler Warren, a couple weeks ago, James Franklin called him the best tight end in college football. What does it do for you as a quarterback to have a security blanket like Tyler? And then what does it do for an offense to have a versatile piece like Tyler to move around and create mismatches for the defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about Tyler is he's not just a security blanket. Like you can see throughout this year how explosive he is at the tight end position. There's been a lot of chunk plays that he's made like down the field, 15 yards or plus. And then also there's been a couple plays where we just throw it to him in the flat. Receivers have done a great job of perimeter blocking, and he's also running guys over and being super physical and also breaking the arm tackles and picking up huge gains for us. Like I remember the 3rd and 7 play against Bowling Green. I hit him in the flat, broke a tackle, and took it like for a 30-yard play or something like that. So I think he's just so like you can plug and play him anywhere. And I think he's just super physical, but he also is super smooth and swift in all his movements. So it's like a really just a bigger receiver out there that you can just play at O-line, honestly. Like it's super fun to have a guy like that. Because he's a big part of our offense. And as you see, like we want to get him the ball and get our playmakers the ball, and he's one of our playmakers. So we want him involved in our game plan in some form of capacity, like every week.
Tyler Donahue.
Drew, yesterday morning we had a chance to speak with Nick Singleton, and I just want to share something he said and get your kind of commentary on it. He said about the offense, quote, "Everybody is having fun. You can tell everybody's mood has been really different from last year." I'm curious if that's something you pick up on. I'm not necessarily asking you to point to what happened last year, but is there a detectable difference in the way this offense is maybe having fun while operating on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're having fun because we're having a lot of success. And I think it kind of showed at the end of the game when we were all celebrating in the end zone when Katron got in the end zone. So I think, I mean, there's just a lot of positive energy on our side of the ball. But also when things aren't going right or going the way we want it, like I think we're doing a really good job of washing those plays and learning from those plays and moving on to the next series or next play, whatever it is throughout a course of a game or practice. So I think we've done a really good job. And I think just with our preparation through these first couple of weeks, like it's easy for us to go out and just play loose, play free, and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And obviously, when we're explosive as an offense, being efficient and scoring points, it's going to be fun to play in an offense like that. So I think we just got to keep building on that. And I mean, having fun is going to be a part of it because we don't get many opportunities to just go out and play football. Like there's a lot more practice and workouts than actual game opportunities. So we need to, just savor those opportunities and have fun with it.
All right, folks, we got time for 2 more questions. We'll go Rich Scarcella, then Audrey Snyder. Go ahead, Rich.
Thanks, Matt. Drew, I want to follow up on Audrey's question about Coach K. In what ways has he challenged you, even going back into the spring, and how much do those challenges helped you grow, and how much have you learned from him since he arrived?
I mean, I've learned a ton from him. And not only him, but like the whole offensive staff. Like we have an elite offensive staff that breaks down a ton of college football and NFL ball. So I learned a lot throughout the offseason. But, getting to learn Coach K when he first got here in terms of his philosophy and terminology was I mean, super beneficial, obviously. And I think I'm at the point now, even in fall camp, I was at the point where I see the game the way Coach K sees it. And usually when like something isn't going right, like I'm able to point something out and he agrees with me, or I'm able to, we're able to just talk the same language, really. And I think that's the biggest part between being a quarterback head coach, OC, and quarterback coach. Like we're all talking the same language, and it's easy for us to just have conversations and like point out like what I see, what I may want different, and what the other coaches may want different in the play and why. And then I think the things he challenged me in was just, the run game. I think just being a more focal point of that. And I think I've done a good job of that so far. Just controlling edges, what we call it, and, keeping the defense honest. And I think, I'll take pride in that because it helps our running backs a lot in the run game. Like, if I'm controlling D ends well, I'm either pulling it if they're trying to take away the run, or, they're trying to make an arm tackle on Nick and Fat 4 or 5 yards down the field instead of like a full on tackle, because I'm doing a better job of controlling the edges in general. But in the pass game, I think it was just, challenging me to be on the same page with the receivers, get in the film room more with them, get out on the field more with them. And I think we did a great job of that this offseason. And I think you can kind of see it in our rhythm. in a pass game standpoint, like there's a lot of just balls that are getting out fast. And I think I'm doing a better job of being more accurate this year. And that's helping the receivers create more plays after the catch this year.
Last question, Audrey Snyder.
Drew, one of the things you said earlier was that you feel like you're the most prepared quarterback in the country. That's kind of been a theme with Andy's quarterbacks, the guys that I've talked to kind of around the country. Why do you think this is? Or like what are maybe some of the things he does that we don't see that you're like, this is a little bit different, or this really has me like on good footing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of Coach K and Danny and Coach Franklin and me. I think all of our processes, even through the first 4 weeks of the season, have really grown together. I think for Coach K, like it's just how many walkthroughs we really do have and how many mental reps we're getting of plays. And he's really explaining the why behind everything. So like why plays are getting called, which is huge for me. I can like anticipate play calls being called in. And then for me, my process is always growing like I've said before, like I love just watching football, breaking down film, and I think I've done a really good job of that so far. And my process is always changing, and I think the one thing that Coach K has helped me with in that process is watching that quarterback Netflix series, what was it, last year or something like that, Kirk Cousins drawing up all the plays before the game, like Saturday night before the game. I really kind of took that on into my own process. It's something I didn't really do last year, of just padding the plays and writing the plays down and just going through it, getting extra mental reps when I'm at home or at the facility. And then also like audio recording, like I think that really helped. That's helped me a lot already. Like I'll record all the plays on my phone, and then when I'm listening to music, I'll just turn my music off and start listening to the play calls, and just visualizing the play, my footwork, rekeys, and things of that nature. So when I get into the game, I hear the play call, and then I'm not even thinking of, okay, what is my process? Like I already know it. It's just second nature at that point, and just going out and just throwing it to the open guy at that point.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, folks.